In case you missed it, a rapper's tweet went viral reading, "Juice gotta be alive, man. How does he have so many unreleased songs? Low-key think he's hiding out recording somewhere." Which is when fans began sharing this disturbing IG live from Ally Lotti where she says, "You guys really think Juice passed from that? You're wrong. Literally, you're wrong. There's a lot of stuff you guys don't know." As the feds would release the new official file documenting everything that happened to him. On December 8th, 2019, Juice alongside his girlfriend Ally, his filmer and security were boarding a private jet and flying into Chicago. While boarding the plane, which was already running late, Juice's team sensed something weird was happening.
It was acting weird, the stewardess lady was acting weird, and I just felt something off. I got up to like, yo, we should leave. You know what I mean? I got up and walked to the door and then like,
crazy,
to see if the cars were still there, and I'm like, because I was gonna be like, yo, let's just go off this plane right now. Like,
sources claimed the pilot was the first on the plane. While Juice and company were boarding the jet, the pilot could smell narcotics, which had him exiting the plane and calling law enforcement for the tip, creating a massive setup on Juice, which caused the delay. Juice had multiple illegal items on the flight, from having 70 pounds of narcotics stuffed into suitcases, 2 firearms with high-capacity magazines, and many items stuffed in Ally's handbag. This made many blame the pilot for Juice's passing, including Ally herself.
I've lost 2 of the most important people in my life because of snitches.
The flight was going normal as usual. This was until arriving in Chicago, where you're allowed to turn off airplane mode on your phones. While being around 5 minutes left in the air, Juice's team would receive a text.
Everything was normal and everything was fine, and once we started getting closer to Chicago and we started getting service on our phones, our security guard, Hen, texted the group chat and was basically like, "Cops are here. And they have a dog."
It was at this moment where everyone began to panic. While doing so, Juice would consume items that were stored in his bag. Law enforcement believed that during the flight, when Juice and his team were told they were awaiting their arrival, Juice took more and more of the items in an attempt to hide them from the authorities. The plane was rented in Juice's name, meaning the illegal items on the flight would be put on him when the law enforcement searched his plane. We're unsure of the exact amount of time Juice would have been locked up in prison for, but according to rap lawyers, they predict a maximum of 20 years in prison for using a private jet to transport 70 pounds across the United States, as well as carrying 2 illegal firearms. Hearing that information would cause anyone to freak out and get nervous. When you add all the items Juice took, mixed in with the nerves of law enforcement waiting for his arrival, Juice's heart went into overdrive, which sadly caused the incident while leaving the private jet. When it happened, an ambulance was called. Witnesses claimed that Juice was transported to emergency care, where he sadly passed. While paramedics were helping Juice, the feds and canines were going through the luggage on the plane. The dogs were quick to sniff out the illegal items, which raised the question why he even tried bringing them on a plane. The reason for the items was because they were throwing a party for Juice in Chicago.
Weekend, we're going to Chicago to celebrate his birthday. It was just his birthday the other day, but we're going this weekend. It's Saturday. We're flying out there. We're gonna have a birthday party with his mom and family and friends and stuff like that from out there. So
2 of the rapper's security guards were arrested at the scene for the firearms while inside of the airport. Then later, Juice's photographer was also arrested and booked and charged with a misdemeanor firearm violation. With an investigation in place, rapper Boozy suggested that the pilot was ultimately responsible for the passing of Juice, referring to the pilot as a snitch. Because how did law enforcement know Juice would be carrying several pounds of illegal narcotics on this plane? Did it have something to do with Ally Lotti's countless cases of trafficking charges? Or was this all a setup for Juice to finally distance himself from the spotlight? As he tweeted before his passing, "My goal is to get overly famous, shine for a couple years, then fake my passing." Because it was his song Legends that sparked the theories of him being alive. In the song, Juice says the line, "What's the 27 club? We ain't making it past 21." This lyric has become one of the most discussed after his death, especially since Juice passed away just 6 days after turning 21. The song was originally a tribute to X and Lil Peep, 2 young artists who also died unexpectedly. X died at 20 and Lil Peep died at 21. Juice's lyric not only referenced their deaths, but even foreshadowed his fate, which continued the pattern of rising stars in hip-hop, dying before reaching their prime. This connection between the lyrics and real-life events fueled conspiracy theories and left fans wondering if Juice somehow predicted or even planned his death, as fans noticed when one interview of Juice was wiped off the internet, which shows Juice nodding off and completely falling asleep.
On the fence about it.
Yeah.
So
Juice WRLD on the Adam Bomb Show. We just added Lucid Dreams, man. That single and that track that we're playing right now. Hey, give me a little bit one on Lucid.
However, nothing's creepier than Juice's lyric about John Lennon in his song, All Girls Are the Same. He raps the line, I'm a jealous boy, really feel like John Lennon. At first, this might seem like just another name drop, but when you look closer, something strange starts to show. Juice died on December 8th, 2019, and that's the same date John Lennon died, December 8th, 1980, just 39 years earlier. That alone has made a lot of fans wonder if it's just a coincidence or something more. Juice didn't just randomly mention John Lennon, he said he felt like him, using the words jealous boy. That could mean he was talking about being emotional or struggling with feelings, something John Lennon also talked about in his music. They were also both very young when they died. Lennon was 40 and Juice had just turned 21. Both of their passings surprised the world, and both were followed by confusion, sadness, and mystery. Fans on social media, especially TikTok and Reddit, say this connection between the lyric, the date, and the emotions in their music may mean Juice saw himself as a new version of artists like Lennon. Some conspiracy theorists even wonder if Juice mentioning Lennon and then dying on the same date was his way of sending a secret message or hinting at something bigger like faking his death or being part of a deeper plan. However, rappers' reactions to Juice's death also made some people feel weird, where Benny also shared a never-before-seen interview from Juice.
Music has pretty much been a factor in my life, like my whole life, like low-key from like 2 years old on. My cousin told me he used to blast music around me, like Wu-Tang, and I was just like rap the lyrics, like mumble the lyrics, not even knowing what I was saying, just kind of like mumbling like the cadence of the song. That's how it started. My junior year in high school, I was like, yo, this is like what I want to do. Like I used to like freestyle with my neighbors. They were like about to graduate high school, and I was like in junior high, keeping up with them. And at first, I used to want to be like Eminem or like Tyler the Creator. I used to say like wild to get people's attention and just try to come up with the most wildest punchlines and wordplay, trying to be as clever as possible.
This ends up connecting with the words Benny shared about Juice in his interview.
He goes in and does the entire song from start to finish, the whole song, the entire thing. So he does the whole song and he goes, all right, run it back again. Pick the best one. In that moment, my jaw dropped. And I said, oh, I'm in the room with a superstar.
But Eminem being on the first song in his new album is important. Juice took a lot of inspiration from Eminem, which is why it was a special moment when Eminem gave heavy praise to Juice for his talents, noting the unbelievable hour-long freestyle he did.
Yo, shout to Juice too, man. Like, yo, that kid was so talented, man. He, like, his freestyle he did on Westwood where he rapped for an hour, like, what the? That's the that we used to try to do at the hip-hop shop.
Eminem would even follow it up by sharing.
To be so young, he like mastered that so quickly. Like his potential was so off the chart.
But here's where it gets interesting, as there would be exclusive footage of Juice shared during the Juice Day Festival. Which made fans investigate rappers' reactions to Juice passing away, with G Herbo sharing.
Man, I don't know, that was my real little brother, bro. So it's like, man, I don't know, we still, we dealing with that day, to be honest, man. It's still, of course, I'm not even gonna say I don't think, it ain't even been a day he ain't crossed my mind in some form or fashion, you know what I'm saying? So.
But even Post Malone said,
I wasn't necessarily close with him, but I got to speak to him, a couple times, and just the sweetest guy. And
we would even see Leroy share his experience with Juice.
I learned a lot of stuff being around him and his process and how he records.
Most rappers would probably be making a mistake if they tried to record the way that Juice did.
No, he was the GOAT, the best.
As Leroy even spoke about how Juice helped him with his come-up.
And the other thing that I took away was really getting in touch with your emotions when making a song. That's one thing that I feel like he did perfectly.
6ix9ine later revealed on IG Live that the two resolved their beef with each other after Juice had reached out to him.
Look what Juice WRLD said. this is one reason I respect Juice WRLD, right? This is when I was clowning him. He messaged me, look, Juice WRLD wrote me and said, yo, that video's so funny, I can't stop watching it. And you know what I said? I said, yo, call me. He said, you taking over the world. I said, peace, king. He said, what's your number? I sent